Hey guys, as you may notice, this video doesn't have like my typical intro. It doesn't even have gameplay footage. It's probably going to be a lot lower quality. I'm actually using a different mic, and I'm not even at my own house. I'm at my friend's house today because we're hanging out. So I'm making this like right on the spot with my pal because this is pretty important. Leafy got terminated, so this video is not going to have like a lot of editing or like jokes. It's going to be one of the more serious videos and
more of a rant.
Right, and there's not going to be a ton of editing or anything. So in a lot of videos, I tend to refer to myself as a Leafy clone or discount Leafy. That's because Leafy is probably the main channel that inspired this one. There's like others that went into it, like iDubbbz, H3, Filthy Frank, Pyrocynical, those guys. But Leafy was the main one. Like, sure, Leafy he probably wasn't the best in the entire community.
He wasn't the best person. You don't really gotta, like him. But he's important. You just gotta love him, man.
Right. Like, he's probably one of the most important. Actually, I go as far to say as the most important channel in the history of the commentary community. Like, just think of how many channels appear to have some form of inspiration from Leafy. Like, let's look at, like, circa 2016 Pyrocynical, or, fucking Cyrus, or Scrubby. Me, again. Like, just so many channels are inspired by Leafy. And, like, Leafy left back in 2016. His legacy was, like, a lot of people hated him back then. He was kind of a cyberbully. In like the later end of 2016, sure, his videos weren't the greatest. So, after
it's a showing of the time period. The time period, no one cared what the fuck you said or what you did. And it's just really showing of 2016. And he actually did change to fit the environment in 2020.
Right. And like, even though Leafy, sure, back in the day, and arguably now, he didn't have the highest production value. He literally, recorded himself, and then he had CSGO Surf or Overwatch gameplay in the background. It's not the highest production value, but I find it pretty charming that, like, a channel just so simplistic and, like, it's not like, whereas today you just see, like, vloggers, like, I don't know, billion-dollar cameras and mansions. Leafy was just a shady teen making videos in his dimly lit bedroom, and that's all he needed to appeal to people. Like, they were entertaining, and he wasn't like your cookie cutter, like, I don't know, Jake Paul, Logan Paul.
I don't think he ever made like videos like, oh wow, I got a new house, I got a new car, check out all this wealth I got from you knuckleheads watching me. Like, that was one of the things with Filthy Frank that also made him popular.
Or iDubbbz. iDubbbz never really talked about wealth, or H3 I don't really think touched on it much. Like, they have a nice house, but I don't think that was really ever a focus. And then,
he was the last kind of, founding father of commentary left. Other than, like, arguably Keemstar,
which Keemstar is more like loosely tied to the commentary community.
He's kind of more of like he's kind of a mix of like the commentary and independent news kind of channels that like to do news articles.
Which, I'm gonna be real, I'm not the biggest fan of Keemstar. Like, I don't like him as a person, or his content that much. But I feel like a lot of people saw Leafy that way. But, you know what? No matter how much I don't like Keemstar, I wouldn't try to deplatform him or, I don't know, try to get him terminated. Especially if it's over something small. Like, Leafy didn't even seem to do anything. Like, sure, his older videos could be seen as kind of cyberbullying. I mean, he did make a lot of videos on Pokemon, but most of them weren't even actually about Pokemon. It was more of like a running joke, or it'd be like, Pokemon mad, Pokemon simps donate, or whatever, I don't know. But like, he'd have Pokemon in the titles, and then he'd just talk about whatever. It's kind of a running joke. Not serious
Kind of
attacks
like
on
him blaming H3, I think, for everything.
Yeah. Like, you see, he blamed H3 for, like, a lot of stuff in his newer videos, and it was, like, obviously a joke. Like, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he said H3 did 9/11. Well, then there's also that, like, Kim Jong-un gig. He'd always have it. Man. And then, you know, Leafy was probably, like, one of the last commentary channels that still had a level of respect. Which, I'm gonna be real, even though I don't like their content now, I do respect iDubbbz. I do respect H3 for what they had in the past. Content Cop, if you don't count the Filthy Frank shows like an actual show, Content Cop is probably the best series on YouTube. H3, I'm not big on his newer videos. Like, and then the H3 podcast, it's kind of dull for me. His older videos, like, let's think. The one with, like, the ones like he made on break channels, like SoFlo Antonio or Joey Salads, those were great. Like those type of content, or the Run for the Cube one that inspired the video I made on Run for the Cube. So like, even though I don't like iDubbbz or H3's content now, I still overall respect them, and I actually feel kind of bad for making that video on iDubbbz calling him a simp, honestly, which. How many times the word simp has sort of changed its meaning, and seeing the Pokemon stuff? iDubbbz wasn't really a simp, just kind of a cuck. So I'm okay with that being my most disliked video.
He just had a girlfriend that made questionable decisions.
Yeah, and OnlyFans, which that should be just a thing. Like, okay, don't hit it, just probably leave. But you know, iDubbbz did at least show somewhat. I guess iDubbbz showed loyalty, which is okay, but. Like, he's really not a simp, just a cuck.
We should. This kind of stems into another, you know, problem with YouTube is they have a lot of favoritism towards certain types of creators. If you're non-Western and female, you're favored.
If you're like...
If you touch gaming or news or touch... politics. How dare you, mention the Democratic Party?
But if you're attacking Trump, go for it. Go for it. Which, let me get this out there.
Quite honestly, there's too many channels that are way too right-winged or left-winged.
Right, like, sure, I do make a lot of videos, like, going after feminists, which, it does actually make me seem like I'm right-winged. I'm not completely right-winged. In fact, I don't really see myself as either a Trump supporter or a Biden supporter. I don't really like either of them. They both have their flaws, but that's just part of being human. Like, you see, I don't really belong to a particular party. I'm just anti-politically correct is all. So, I mean, like, I've gotten comments like, why do you just hate on leftists? Which, I definitely understand why you could say that, or why you could see it as that, but... That's not really what it is. I'm just anti-politically correct, and Republicans, they can actually be like the politically correct ones too. Like, if you remember back in like the 80s or 70s, they were the ones with the whole trying to censor music thing. And like, that's why we had the
Christian moms.
Yep. So like both sides can be politically correct. I'm not really, I don't really blindly follow any particular party. Like, yeah. Sure, I have some more Republican values, or then there's some that are a bit more left, like gay rights and stuff like that.
That isn't a left thing. That's just like not being a dickhead.
Yeah, but the media makes it seem like it is.
They don't really care for gay people.
But anyway, politics aside, this kind of gets sidetracked.
YouTube is political as all hell. Because they're the most PC people in the world, but for some reason, honest people who are LGBTQ creators who talk about important topics, important to the LGBT community, are losing the ability to just run their channel, even though they say they love LGBTQ people. But it's not because, you know, they are LGBTQ, it's because they don't like it when you talk about that stuff. They don't like talking about, you know, the messy reality of things. That's also why they don't like news people. They don't like history people. Education, no, we want that off. You know, talking about educational things, talking about important issues.
I remember...
Only makeup.
I remember back in 2016, like, there was even issues with that. Like, I don't remember the details. This is a long time ago, but I think there's, like, things like Alternate History Hub. You know, a pretty inoffensive channel. They just talk about, like, different history timelines. Nope, they get fucked by YouTube. Like, YouTube has had issues with, you know, with how they run things forever. And, like, I guess it was just a matter of time before they'd get Leafy. And to be frank, you know, Leafy, it was really, like... I'm gonna cut this. That's my phone, hold up. Sorry guys, that was my phone. I muted it now. That was annoying, so...
Oh yeah, YouTube favoritism. YouTube makes most of its money from the communities it bullies the most. Reddit videos, gaming videos, commentary, you know, those kinds of things would make them lots of money if they put ads on them. But you know where that money... But Patreon exists for a reason. And I really think it's disappointing that Patreon has to exist. It's really very sad. It's like they're having to be laws and police. It's sad that people would do stupid shit. It's sad that people would go out and riot. It's the same thing with this. That it's sad that Patreon has to exist for good people to make money.
Like, you know, YouTube has a monetization feature, but unless you're a flawlessly attractive model plucked straight from Hollywood Hills, you know, that occasional gamer you see who screams a lot, either or a legit celebrity or a late night host, yeah, and you're not getting that money. No chance.
And here's the biggest thing. YouTube used to be dominated by edgy content in 2016. So edgy content what ruled YouTube, and then YouTube said, we don't like that, get out of here. And then they switched to kid content, and they became a kid company basically for kids. And then they said, nah, we don't like that, but they still want to stay...
The whole COPA controversy, or COPA, however you pronounce it, that, it's like, let's not have content for kids either. Yeah, you're just fucked no matter what. Yeah,
you basically can't make stuff for kids, but you can't make things that aren't meant for kids. You basically have to... And here's the thing, beauty is arguably targeted to 14-year-old girls. It's arguably targeted to them. And yet, YouTube approves of it. The US government approves of it. But gaming, nah, that's out, man.
Or, you know, commentary, ooh, you say something remotely edgy. And, you know, I tell you what, I prefer edgy content. Like, I hate seeing, like, the trending just dominated by fucking BuzzFeed and just the cookie cutter, like Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, all those late night hosts. I'd love to see, like, if there was, like, an equivalent to Filthy Frank. Like, I'm not talking a Filthy Frank clone, but something with similarly edgy content, or, like, it looked like Leafy did get on trending for gaming a bit, but, like, it would be refreshing to see him on top of trending. Like, the game, like, I'd say, like, my favorite YouTube videos are the edgier ones, and not, like, the cookie cutter video templates. Like, my favorite videos are probably, Leafy Content Cop, Keemstar, Documentary, and Leafy. It's not really that edgy. And then Filthy Frank's, ET2 and Filthy Frank's 100 Accurate Life Hacks. Like, all of those edgy content, I love that. It's great, and it's probably my favorite type of stuff to watch on YouTube. In fact, that's probably most of the stuff I watched. Or, like, you know, there's kind of a sign that YouTube was purging stuff with, I'm not sure how many of you have heard of this channel. It was called, Monkey Jones. He did pretty edgy content. He was one of my favorite YouTube channels of all time, probably. One day YouTube just terminates him with little no. In fact, the videos that got him terminated were private videos with 0 views, which included stuff like him. I think there was one of him like messing around with like an Elliot Rodger body pillow, and then they're like, nah, let's get rid of him. He's back under like a different channel name, but that was kind of an early warning sign. Or then Leafy, like Leafy's probably one of my favorite channels, as you can tell by my style. I've said this. However, I never really watched Leafy until probably 2018, 2019. Like, I think I watched a video or two, like, in 2016 or 17. But I was, like, on the younger side. I was probably, like, 4th, 5th grade. And I was like, man, this Leafy guy's kind of an asshole. I don't see why my friends wanted me to watch it, so... But then, I kind of saw, like, started watching iDubbbz. There was a Common Cop. I still didn't like Leafy. And then I slowly started to watch his content. Sure, iDubbbz's points are valid. Leafy's content could have used a lot of changes, but I still enjoyed it. This may be kind of a hot take, but I enjoyed Leafy's content. And, in fact, sure, again, Leafy's videos, not all of them were very good. Like, some of them got kind of stale. Like, a lot of his later videos were... I didn't really like them. But then, when he came back in 2020, he improved them a lot. They were, like, very entertaining and just fresh and good. Like, it was so refreshing. Like, you know, especially with the whole... Okay, I know this is going to sound like an overused statement, like, we're all struggling in the whole coronavirus thing. How relatable. But no, it was seriously refreshing to see new content from one of my inspirations, even though I wasn't even, like, you know, in this community when he was making videos. But it was super refreshing to see him back and making good videos. Like, I remember this, like, one video he recently put out where he was just, like, calling a bunch of people, and they were just asking him about, like, why the Dr. Disrespect got banned, and, like, calls fucking Scares, and then Scares is like, I don't fucking care, dude, I'm trying to sleep. Like, I found that funny. They were entertaining and higher quality videos. Like, they weren't even all the same, like, the same template as they used to be in the past. Like, in the past, they were kind of cookie-cutter templates of each of his videos, but the new ones, each of them's, like, kind of different in their own ways. Like, Leafy will just kind of talk about whatever he wants.
I'm very, I gotta say, I'm very disappointed in how YouTube's going, and I predict that in 1 or 2 years, YouTube's gonna be dead. Either YouTube's gonna have a massive overhaul, YouTube's gonna be sold from Google to someone else, or everyone's gonna leave Google's YouTube and move to a different site, because YouTube was about you and other people. It was about what you did, what you could do to entertain other people. It wasn't about being a celebrity. It was about entertaining other people, and maybe you can make a little cash from the side.
Whereas
it wasn't a career. It wasn't let's become famous as fuck. It's let's just hang out and entertain a few people. And I'm very disappointed it's become let's get all the big companies here, let's get all the big productions. It's about fame, it's about money, it's about the career.
Which, I'm gonna be real, everyone now wants money. In fact, I'd say I'd like money. Like, pretty much everyone would. Like, in some cases it's a bad thing, where, like, it feels like that's their only exclusive goal, whereas others, they want to make money and entertain people and put time and effort into their craft. Whereas Jake Paul, okay, he'll record a video of him and his buddies fucking around for 20 minutes, and that's enough to entertain the little 9-year-olds. That, you've noticed that YouTube, again, like, the content seems to be more shifted toward the younger demographic, which is just how it is in general. Like, I feel like the average YouTube viewers are probably, like, between 8 and, like, early 20s. That's the typical thing, like, teens, late, like, probably preteens, young adults. That sort
of... The culture of YouTube has shifted mostly to the younger side of Gen Z, and Gen Z is getting their hands on technology, and Gen Z was born literally during a golden age. When I mean a golden age, I mean a golden age. Our life and technology, like the fact that I have Wi-Fi is enough to tell you that we're living in a very good place.
Like, just the golden age of the internet in general. Like, if you look at the late 90s, the average household still didn't even have broadband internet. Like, it was dial-up. And, like, you know, their computers looked like fucking bricks and were just, like, you know, big boxy things. Whereas you have, like, gaming computers and, you know, there's, like, actual, like, online communities and social media is a thing. Like, we're in a golden age. But
the fact there's a culture that exists in different websites, and actually multiple different cultures in certain websites, like Discord culture, which is a legit thing, that existing is really, really different than what the internet used to be.
Right, whereas, like, you know, back in the day, it was probably seen like people who use the internet, they're just a bunch of, like,
you put it in a
geeks.
disk, you put it in a disk, and then you could search up stuff on an online
maybe a rare chance of you talking to, like, other geeks, whereas now, you know, think of, like, each like, social media as, like, a multicultural empire like Austria-Hungary, minus, like, the fact it's gonna immediately explode into a bunch of mini countries. But, like, it's like that, like, it's multi-ethnic, multicultural stuff, like, you know, like, in YouTube, for example. You know, YouTube, let's you know, Austria-Hungary analogy. YouTube's the Austro-Hungarian Empire, you know. And there's, you know, the big vlogger, Austria. There's, like, you know, gaming Hungary, or, I don't know, commentary Croatia. By the way, there's no correlation between any of these. This is just, like, comparison, or I don't know, Slovaks could be, like, the animators, or I don't know. There's no correlation, again, between any of these groups. So, like, you get the point. YouTube's like a multicultural empire, but, like, it doesn't explode, like...
What is about to explode?
Well, yeah, I suppose, but, like... Okay, good point. It's going to explode, but it's not due to...
Kind of like MySpace.
Yeah, so, like, imagine this. YouTube... Okay, Austria-Hungary analogy actually works perfectly. Multicultural empire... But let's say, you know, the vloggers and those type of guys, the late night hosts, that's Austria. It unfairly benefits the Austrian half of the empire compared to, like, I don't know, Croatia, Hungary, Bohemia, Transylvania, like, all of those. And, like, pushes the others. And, like, the other communities are starting to hate, like, the big YouTube. So, what do? They want to leave the YouTube. And then, you know... I don't know, there's this competitor called Storyfire, and, you know, let's say the commentary channels and those sort of things, the other things being unfairly treated, those are the South Slavs, and then, let's say, Storyfire right now is, like, Serbia and Montenegro. Those are going to become Yugoslavia, and they're just all going to become one, and everyone's probably just going to flock to Storyfire. In fact, I don't have a Storyfire. I'm not sure if I'm eligible, not 100% sure how it works. But, like, you can get, like, Blaze points and stuff, which can equate to money. Like, I want to say Leafy had a thing there on Storyfire. I'm not certain about that. That should just be incorrect memory. Like, a lot of people I watch, like, Optimus, Boblax, or even people I don't really watch, like Keemstar, they all have story...
First video I saw on Storyfire when I just loaded it up was... completely super edgy, and the fact that exists on Storyfire is kind of a beacon of hope.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so maybe when I get home from hanging out with my friends, I'm gonna ask Mommy if I can make Storyfire. And make a Storyfire account, and, you know, it could maybe be like a backup. Although I think there's like you need to get, like, accepted by the Storyfire guys or something, but, like, I feel like... Now, regardless of your opinion of Leafy with this whole thing, whether you hate him or not, you don't want to see him being deplatformed at all. Because you know this is going to lead to way worse things. Like, you know, if you like edgy content or if you don't, this could be a sign that your favorite creator, they might be gone the next day. Like, I remember, I was like, well, I might watch a Leafy video today, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go to my friends, so I'm gonna listen to music before this. So, today I didn't even get to watch one last Leafy video, even though I thought about doing so earlier. Like, I thought about doing a little Leafy.
It's kind of like you're about to go to your grandpa's house, but something happened, so you can't go. The next day he's gone. That's kind of like the metaphor for this, because Leafy was the grandpa that we all love.
Or hated, depending on the mood. Or depending on your opinion. But regardless, he was still your grandfather of the commentary community.
He was still your grandpa, no matter what you think of him.
And, you know, he deserves some level of respect. Like, sure, I do not like H3 or iDubbbz's newer... Well, iDubbbz's newer content's okay, but he doesn't have the same respect that most people give him. Or, like, it's not as respectable, but I still respect iDubbbz for, like, the time period that his older stuff represented. Same with H3. The YouTube golden age is now gone. And, you know, for all I know, you know, I'm in essence just discount Leafy. So I'm like, you know, a mildly less aggressive 2016 Leafy.
Well, with the skits, you're more like a Filthy Frank, and Leafy had a very disappointing grandchild.
True. But yeah, my goal is actually to transition into more like skit stuff. I don't want it to be too cringy, but you see, this video, like my next video, like as you can tell by the previous one, I did like a lot of like jabs or just kind of jokes about Pokemon. My next video was to be the Pokemon video. That's a lot of effort, but this one I had to make really urgently because this is so important. And hey,
next video we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna do some skits, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna do some fun stuff, and hopefully we don't have to do another video like this.
Yeah, and if there's a follow-up to this, it will probably have more gameplay and stuff like that.
Also, as an announcement, the SkyBro2205 channel is actually dead. I don't plan on uploading there unless I do things on the Kaisersaurus channel, and then I might upload that on there. But other than that, I'm going to just live on Dunces on Discord and Kaisersaurus.
Which, you know, sub to him, me, Dunces. Yeah, anyway, self-promotion aside, Leafy represents an era that's long gone.
He represents the ideal of YouTube.
A YouTube where, hey, you may like edgy content. I don't have to 100% agree with it, but I can still respect you for having the balls to put something out there. So, in conclusion, we miss you, Leafy. I hope this gets fixed by some miracle, or like, I don't know, Leafy.
I'm praying to God you get what you deserve.
And you know, CEO of YouTube Season Wabbajack, lick the undercheese from under my fucking nuts. Because I feel like there's a possibility I could maybe be terminated because I make similar content. I plan on doing like somewhat of a slow transition. I think it might be a mix of Filthy Frank and such, but... So, yeah. These are grave times. Leafy's still being around was the last beacon of hope. And he's like the last OG commentary. Now we have like Keemstar and Pyro, but Keemstar's not really quite commentary. He's kind of loosely tied, but he's news stuff. Pyro's, I'm not sure if I consider him commentary either now. He was for sure, but like he's kind of transitioned out of it. And then there's Grade A Underrated, but I'm not even sure if he uploads. Like he'll say he'll come back, he'll upload 2 videos. Okay, gone again. So I'm not even sure. I know they said I know Grade said he'll be back if Leafy comes back. So you know Leafy was back. Grade made a couple videos. Gone again. I haven't even seen if Grade made any live streams recently either. Well, you know, I can't really trust Grade A Under's schedule. By the way, if by some miracle you're watching this, Grade A Under, no disrespect, I love your channel. It's just, you know, this much leaving. It's kind of hard to trust your schedule. Anything else?
After this, I'm immediately recording something for SkyBro2205 that's a lot more funny and serious. You know, to get your mind off of this serious talk. because it's really hard to make serious videos because what you want to do is you want to entertain and have fun,
Oh, also, you see, I remember there were a lot of Pokemon simps trying to flag Leafy's video because it's mean to our queen Pokemon. Which, maybe that was the reason I got taken down. I'm not 100% sure. But, if that's true, Pokemon's not gonna date you, you fucking cuck. Anyway, okay, that's a bit aggressive, but...
Alright, you're going to be platformed. Alright, peace.
No,
subscribe.
YouTube, please don't
No, you're going out.
This is
Goodbye. Subscribe
Don't-
while you can.
Don't press pause, it's not done. One more point, if YouTube, it's because they don't like drama. YouTube's a huge fucking website, like the Austria-Hungarian Empire. You can't expect there not to be drama, especially in a multicultural community, and there's good drama, there's bad drama, and Leafy's drama with iDubbbz, okay, it was actually entertaining, whereas, I don't know.
We're gonna have a second, Serbia situation.
Right,
like Twitch about now.
But YouTube outright promotes these big
The
ass.
World War on references right now and connections to YouTube right now is really big because there's a lot of tension with Twitch because Twitch is messed up and YouTube is messed up. YouTube's about to burst, and and there's about to be a clash of the communities and inside of Twitch itself. So it's basically gonna end in a World War I, internet breaks fucking down.
But yeah,
scenario.
As I was saying, with YouTube, they outright promote these makeup channels. Leafy's drama, it was Leafy. They were actually entertaining. They were pretty tame. Leafy wasn't outright trying to deplatform people. Well, there was the Keemstar thing, but most of Leafy's dramas, they weren't outright horrible. Whereas look at the makeup channels. What are you doing? Anyways,
It's just my cat.
They try to destroy the careers of James Charles and stuff for hey, let's get some clout from destroying this guy. James Charles lost a million in one day back in the day, and then Tatty gained 5 million from it, which she didn't deserve, and it just ended up being mostly fake or conspiracy or whatever. I don't know. Leafy's was tame. Okay, there's a few kind of comedic, not too serious jabs between him and FouseyTube for the most part. Or iDubbbz. Okay, Leafy responded horribly, but I don't know, it's kind of funny. And iDubbbz. Actually, I remember, some of you guys remember I took a short hiatus in December of last year. I was dealing with personal stuff. My first video when I came back, it was just talking about several things, but one of them was I talked about Leafy Content Cop getting deleted, which I think Leafy himself said it was bullshit. I'm not sure if that was proven or whatever, but that was also a pretty bad sign back then. So,
and also we were talking about yesterday, a huge thing happened. Hair Cake was deleted off of YouTube.
Well, Hair Cake wasn't deleted yesterday, but we discovered that yesterday. I was looking at, I have this ad.
Kind of, the preparation for the absolute shitstorm.
Right, I was watching some Filthy Frank. I have this analytic browser extension for YouTube. I was okay, it looks it says Filthy Frank lost 21 million views in the past month. So I used our handy dandy Wayback Machine to see what video was missing or kind of fit the gap. It was Hair Cake, which is I can't watch it. It was awesome that they had the balls to do it though. Basically, Frank, iDubbbz, Max Mofo, and Chad from Anything for Views eat iDubbbz hair or whatever and bake it into a cake. It's disgusting. I can't really watch it, but that really showed how the time period was, how it was much more edgy and people could just do whatever the fuck they wanted. As long as it's not exploiting children. That's a universal no-no, right? I remember the whole bandwagon on Daddy05. Probably one of the few times where I'd say a bandwagon is justified. Well, like, there's plenty of others, but that's probably the one I've seen where it's the most justified. In fact, I'd go as far to say Daddy 05 is probably one of the worst YouTube channels in YouTube history. Probably alongside Matt Watson, because he did that whole boycott to just strip away that money from countless innocent YouTube channels for unknown reasons. Watch Emperor Lemon's video, Operation Red Herring. It kind of talks about like various theories as to what happened with that. It's part of his YouTube Geographic series, which coincidentally contains one of my favorite videos. Leafy Was Here, YouTube Geographic. It's one of the things that introduced me to Leafy and kind of inspired me to be a commentary channel after seeing like his story. And like goes over the rise, fall, the peak of Leafy's channel, and like Leafy started out as just another Minecraft YouTuber, and then he transitioned into doing something different. And you know, if you're a YouTuber, you're eventually going to have to transition into doing things like, if you stay exactly the same, people are going to slowly stop watching because it grows stale. Which, what helped Leafy grow, he didn't really change up his videos, they just kind of, they stayed like the same, they just got lower in quality. Whereas, like, I try to change up my videos, like, going on, like, you know, my earliest videos weren't great. I didn't even have background music. It was fairly choppy.
I was in the background singing.
I don't. But like, in fact, this guy, I didn't even have my own gameplay footage because my computer was too slow back then. This guy actually had to give it to me.
My computer was literally a brick, and I suck at gaming. But you know, that's kind of what I did. I sold him the crack.
So yeah, I just used his gameplay footage back in the day, and like. So, like, again, Leafy started out as just another Minecraft channel. I'm probably going to stay a commentary channel for life. My style might change, like, you know, my my BuzzFeed Hates White People video, that was my first ever video where I actually learned how to use the freeze frame effect in my videos, which, you know, sometimes when I talk, like, it will show, like, a still from, like, that segment of the video. That's the first video where I figured out how to do that. And, like, I've been slowly trying to improve my editing, too, which kind of like how Leafy's, like, Leafy didn't have an intro, like, early on, and there wasn't much for background music.
It's kind of like I've been practicing, you know, voice, doing different things with my voice. Oh, yeah, you know, you know, kind of, you know, stuff like that. I've been really trying to, you know, do that kind of stuff because every once in a while I feature here, and it's kind of gay, to be honest. Gay in a happy way, not in any other way, unless you want to.
Okay, I'm not against using gay as an insult as long as it's not like actively going against gay people. Like, I don't think everyone realizes gay is kind of a playground insult. We just say it like, that's gay. We kind of equate it with lame and, you know, just other things. We use it ironically in just a bunch of different ways. Like we use the word sex. We say, like, you know, instead of saying, that's cool, me and my friends will say, that's sex. Like,
We'll just say sex.
Mm-hmm. Like, sex, exclamation
point. Or we'll say
point.
penis or cum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're typical teenage boys.
I'm the whitest of the white.
But you have a Jewish nose.
I may look like a Polish Jew, but I am white, I swear.
I may look like an Englishman, but I swear I'm mostly Scandinavian.
No, you're too German, I thought.
It's a mix. It's like...
Hey, cut. We have to cut. We're gonna sign some divorce papers.
Yeah, we're getting sidetracked. So back to the whole Leafy thing. Sorry if this is unwatchable, by the way. This is just gonna be kind of
already like an hour.
Oh, no, I know. That's like 30. That's like 38 minutes, 40 minutes. But this is a big video. It's gonna be unedited, but it's just to show the raw things. So.
We're probably gonna end up.
Yeah, let's end
doing an edited version. Yeah.
Probably.
So yeah, subscribe before YouTube, you know, pulls the trigger on us and kills us all.
Also in conclusion, fuck the YouTube staff. most of them. I'm pretty sure some are good people, but like, you know, the guys doing this.
The guys have made the decision.
If the Pokemon simps are the reason that Leafy got terminated, fuck the guys who try to get him terminated, and again, fuck CEO Susan Wojcicki.
She's also Polish, I think.
I know, and I can't pronounce Polish words. Actually, wait, doesn't J in Polish like what wouldn't be like Wojcicki? I don't know. Who cares? So yeah, can we get a new CEO, please? Or like, you know, can we get
female empowerment.
Oh, okay. Sorry, guys. So yeah, sorry if this is unwatchable, but Leafy truly was important. It's absolutely horrible to see him gone. But I hope you enjoyed this. You don't have to sub if you don't want to. That's fine. That's not the goal of this. Leave a like if you want. Not required. But do check out my friend and.
I don't do anything.
Yeah, he does nothing. He's just there. The whole Dunces on Discord thing, and peace out.